Good morning, friends. Today's topic is consumer electronics and architecture. So, any device containing an electronic circuit board intended for every use by individual. The consumer electronic include MP3 players, television set, mobile phones, video game consoles, digital cameras, GPS receivers, and printers. Household appliances such as micro ovens, washing machines, and dishwasher include embedded system to provide flexibility, efficiency, and features. These are some of the examples of the consumer electronics. So in this today's class, we are going to see about the architectures of common architecture for the consumer electronics. Common features in the consumer electronics. The consumer electronic devices provide several type of services in different combinations. In that, there is a common features among the consumer electronics. The first common feature is multimedia. So here, the multimedia may be audio or still images or video. These multimedia objects are generally stored in the compressed form and must be uncompressed to be played. A large growing number of standards have been developed for multimedia compression. So MP3, Dolby Digital, etc. For audio, JPEG for still image, and MPEG-4 for the video. So the next common feature is data storage and management. Because people want to select what multimedia objects they save or play. Data storage goes hand in hand with the multimedia capture and display. Many devices provide TC compatible file systems so that the data can be shared more easily. So the next common feature is communication. Communication may be relatively simple, such as a USB interface to a host computer. The communication link may also be more sophisticated, such as Ethernet port or a cellular telephone link. So let us consider some basic use case of some basic operations. So this figure shows use case for connecting to a client. The connection may be either over a local connection like USB or over the internet, while some operations may be performed locally on the client device. Most of the work is done on the host system while the connection is established. So the next, platform and operating systems. In this figure shows the functional block diagram of a typical device. The storage system provides bulk permanent storage. The network interface may be provide a simple USB connection or a full-blown internet connection. So this diagram shows two-process architecture. If more computation is required, one more DSP or CPU may be added. The RISC CPU runs the operating system, runs the user interface, maintains the file system, etc. The DSP performs the signal processing. The DSP may be programmable in some systems. In other case, it may be one or more hardwired accelerator. So next is the flash file system. So in this flash file system, we are using two type of memory. One is the flash memory, other one is disk drives. Both the memories are for the storage purpose. So first one is flash memory. So here the flash memory uses the flash memory cells. That is, the cells are nothing but electrically charged storing capacitor. So example for the flash memory are DRAM and SRAM and disk drivers. Now the disk driver, which we use the rotating magnetic platters, are the most common from the mass storage in the PCs. So next is cost. While comparing cost, the flash memory cost is more than disk drives. But here in the disk drives, it is very cheaper than the flash memory. So while comparing the capacity, flash memory has the moderate capacity and disk drives has the more capacity. While considering the power consumption, the flash memory has the very less power consumption because it uses the capacitor charge storing pattern. Here the disk drives use more power consumption. That's why the flash memory is very famous. Then coming to the limitation, writing a flash memory cell causes mechanical stress that eventually wears out the cell. But in the disk drives, it will be very slow and it will consume more power. But that is the only limitations of the flash disk drives. So next we will see about the simple model for the flash file system. A simple model of the standard flash file system has a two layers. The bottom layer handles the physical reads and writes on the storage device. The top layer provides a logical view of the file system. A flash file system imposes an intermediate layer that allows the logical to physical mapping of files to be changed. This layer keeps track of how frequently different sections of the flash memory have been written and allocates the data to equalize via. It may also move the location of the directory structure while the file system is operating. Is platform level performance analysis. Any part of the system can affect the total system performance. Similarly, any other part of the system can slow down the CPU. So we want to move the data from memory to the CPU to process it. To get the data from the memory to the CPU, we must read from the memory, transfer over the bus to the cache, transfer from the cache to the CPU. So as we all know, the rate at which we can move the data is known as bandwidth. So we can increase the bandwidth in two ways. So we can increase the clock rate of the bus. We can increase the amount of data transfer per clock cycle. So we can control the performance of the system by reducing or increasing the bandwidth formula. So here T equal to capital T into P. So here T stands for, small t stands for bus cycle counts. The capital T stands for bus cycles. P stands for bus clock period. So memory aspect ratio. The height and width ratio of the memory is known as the aspect ratio. The best aspect ratio depends on the amount of memory required. Thank you.